Good morning, dear Madam Marshal, the co-chairs, dear members of the JPSG, dear guests. I would like to especially invite Mr. Minister Tomasz Szymoniak, who is responsible for Home Affairs, Madame de Bolle, Director of Europol, Dr. Wojciech Wierwirowski, European Data Protection Supervisor, and deputies of European Parliament and deputies of national parliaments. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome you all to 16th meeting of the Joint Parliamentary Scrutiny Group on Europol here in the Senate in Warsaw, co-chaired by the Sejm and Senat of the Republic of Poland and the European Parliament. I would like to inform you that simultaneous translation into English, French, and Polish is available at our meeting. Due to individual requests from the delegation, translation into Italian is also available. The list of available channels is in the materials you received. Now, let me switch into Polish language. Chciałbym powitać wszystkich.
May I welcome all our guests who will honor us with their presentations. In particular, I would like to welcome Madam Marshal of the Polish Senate, and I would like to ask Madam Marshal to take the floor first. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome the representatives of the Europol Joint Parliamentary Scrutiny Group to the Polish Parliament. I belong to a generation that still remembers a Europe divided by hard border lines and passports filled with visa stamps. We were locked inside the borders of our countries, but those involved in breaking the law were also locked within these borders. As we enjoy today the freedom to travel and live in any part of our common Europe, we must remember that organized crime also takes advantage of our freedom. Worse still, criminals have specialized in abusing our freedom using the latest technology. Europol has been created to assist the law enforcement agencies of European countries in their fight against the most dangerous types of crime. Criminals are increasingly operating across national borders with increasing efficiency. When we read about police success against organized groups, we usually learn that criminals holding passports from several or more countries have been apprehended. Without Europol's analysts and investigators, the prosecution would be downright impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, the Polish presidency has put security at the heart of its priorities. Of course, in the face of war and global instability, we are devoting most of our attention to external security, the protection of borders, and European values. However, we must not forget that internal security is equally important, and its cornerstone is an effective fight against organized crime, whether it relates to drug trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling of migrants, or sexual crimes against children. Poland understands perfectly well the importance of these issues and pledges to take decisive action in the fight against international criminal networks, terrorism, and radicalization. Details of these plans will be presented by Minister Tomasz Szymoniak. It is worth emphasizing, however, that the priorities of the Polish presidency are perfectly in line with the mission of the new European Commission. I am grateful that representatives of Europol, the European Data Protection Supervisor, the European Commission, and the Polish government are taking part in our meeting. Our task as parliamentarians is to ensure the security of citizens in all these dimensions. But a particular task for parliaments is to guard our freedom. There's a Polish saying, do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. The baby is our freedom. Europe built its greatness on civil rights and liberties. It is the foundation of our integration. It is the basis of our economic success. When I reflect on what has been the greatest success of the terrorists, I cannot help but think that it has been to take away a piece of our freedom. All over the world today, we pass through pyrotechnic gates, our luggage is scanned, we encounter surveillance cameras every step of the way. I know that these are necessary security measures, but we pay for them with our privacy. In the same way that growing cybercrime forces us to type ever more complicated security codes into computer keyboards. I say this because when fighting the criminal octopus, we must not forget the balance between security and citizens' freedoms. This is why parliamentary scrutiny of the activities of the services responsible for our security is so crucial. The task of Europol's Joint Parliamentary Scrutiny Group is to ensure that our privacy and freedom are only subject to such restrictions that are absolutely necessary. With the active involvement of the European Parliament and national parliaments, we can ensure that Europol acts not only effectively, but also responsibly and in full respect of the fundamental rights of the European Union citizens. Ladies